Hello and welcome back everyone for another Wings of Liberty cast. Today we are going to have a best of one from the EU ladder, and it is going to be featuring in the bottom left from Karonte E-sports. As our red Zerg player, it is going to be Vortix. And in the top right, spawning as our blue Protoss, it is going to be Millenium's Adelscott. So, these two players do play on the EU server. As mentioned, they have more than likely played each other a ton, as they are both on very prominent EU teams, Team Millenium, which most people know because Stefano at one point was on before he joined EG, and Vortix, who is on Karonte E-sports, another very good European team. Outside of Acer, I can't really think of anyone that's like more prominent. Team Liquid kinda, but they're more of an international team, so I don't really consider them European, to be honest. But this is a PvZ, Wings of Liberty. So what are we going to expect? Well, there's a ton of things that would be standard. Typically, opening up with a 14 pull into a 15 hatch into a 420 expand for the Zerg player, and as we can see, pylon on the low ground is in fact going to mean that we are going to see a Forge Fast expand come out of the Protoss player. The question will be, is it going to be a Nexus after this, or is he going to throw down the Forge, as he's done a Gateway first? So this might be to make sure that he can in fact get out a unit rather than a cannon. This is a little bit different than what you would standardly see. It's typically a Forge and then another structures such as a gateway or nexus. No probe being sent out though, so I do find that kind of interesting. He has in fact not gotten any scouting information at all. He's just going to play it safe, get a wall off of pretty early, and make sure that no sort of funny business comes down. And as we can see with the blue clicking, Adel is more than likely going to put down a Nexus, yes, and there it is. And then this will more than likely be followed up by a Forge with a cannon and a Zealot on hold position in the hole. So 4 links coming out just to try and put on some early aggression, but you can pretty much, for the most part, easily wall this off. And in fact, he's not even going to Forge Fast Expand, he's just going to go straight in to his Cybernetics core. So this could be quite a bit of damage that happens very, very quickly just from these 4 initial Zerglings. If they get down here and start killing off this pylon, it could be very problematic for our Protoss player. In fact, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to kill it off before the Zealot comes out, though. And with Chrono Boost, definitely not. But if he does micro properly, both players microing very well. As we can see, most of these Zerglings are so close to dying. And in fact, now a sentry will be started, so pretty much easy hold. A little bit of stress there from Adelscott, but I'm surprised to not see a second expansion come up. This makes me think that there might be some sort of very aggressive 2-base roach play coming out. And as we do see these 3 Zerglings just poking around, being very annoying. This has to be frustrating for any sort of Protoss player. 1 probe getting picked off, and that is never which one to do. So with those 2 probe kills, I believe there were 2. No, only 1. He did not in fact get that probe that was down here. It does make these very worthwhile. Even attacking his own Nexus for a second there is Adel. Every time I say Adele, I feel like it's that, you know, obviously the female singer, so I might just say Adelscott. It'll be much easier to remember. Still no third out of Vortix, and this is quite suspect. And it does look like he's going to go into some heavy roach play. As we can see, there's not a terrible amount of production facilities out for Adele. He is going to go up to 5 gate to make sure that he's okay, but with Glior, Constitution, and Burrow, since there is no detection out thus yet, without the Forged Fast Expand, which is standard, the cannon is not there. So that means that unless he gets a robo up, like now, he is not going to have an observer out in time for these burrowed roaches. And now he's going to try and push out and put on some 5 grade of pressure, but he is assuming that Vortix has in fact taken this third base, and in fact he is extremely incorrect. Wonder where he is going to be placing the proxy pylon at. We do see roaches already in production, 7 in fact finishing up here, and that is going to be more than enough to thwart away this aggression. And now Adelscott does see, hey, there's no third base here. And this has to make him wonder quite a lot. The Stalker is going to be sacrificial, go in here and get picked off, but if he pushed down the ramp right now, he could just take out this army and make a counter push very, very strong. Tons of units being warped in here, and in fact it does look like he went up to 6 gates. Yes, he is on 6 in fact. Now going to come around to the third, place down a pylon again. This is really cool here. He's going to bait in these units with the burrowed roaches and then pop out right on top of these units, so the force fields are completely useless. And there we are. That was sick unburrowing micro here, and now he can just force field. Even with the force fields, does not matter. He can pick off all of these support units, run around, so the zealots cannot do a terrible amount of damage, and just keep kiting for pretty much forever via burrow. He does need to get out more roaches though, as he's going to start really falling behind, and as we can see, more than likely Adelscott is going to be warping in, but tons of roaches out on the field now with tunneling claws as well. This is going to give them crazy amount of mobility to just be underneath. Great burrow micro coming out. Look at how many of these units are almost dead, but not in fact. Great target firing as well. This is very, very nice play so far out of Vortix. Supplies extremely even, but with this very aggressive pylon here, it's going to be really, really hard, and with basically a huge, vastly superior income, as you can see from the income tab. This is not going to be good for Vortix. This does look like Adel is going, in fact, to be able to take this game, as there is no third base production from Vortix, which makes it extremely hard to get out the amount of units necessary to thwart some very heavy aggression. And now even the Manor Nexus is I might say, coming down, and that is rude. But hey, I'm sure, as I said before, these guys have played each other many a times, and they are in fact more than okay with the lack of hospitality. As you can see from the unit counting station, there are 19 to 36 workers, and all Adel has to do is keep adding on gateways, and he should be able to finish off this game. Another huge workman of zealots coming out, and with Burrow, along with the ability of the ranged attacks, he should be able to hold this off. So, in fact, now Adelscott does realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be building these nexuses here. Great hold from Vortix. Would love to see him drone up again. And in fact, he is making 6 drones right now, unburrowing all of those units. He should go out here and kill these proxy pylons, as well, Adelscott doesn't really need them. But lord, did he put a lot of proxies out. 5 in total. And really doesn't have a terrible amount to follow this up. Just now getting his forge. And with this burrow micro again, it does look like Vortix, in fact, might be able to, with tunneling claws, just go right underneath of a unit here and push up so well. He can just surround these. He can even come up into the mineral line and snipe off all sorts of units. And he can even just burrow and then, yeah, come right up underneath here, snipe off these 2 cannons, burrow again, and keep doing that. As we can see, he has in fact targeted or clicked on these, and he's just going to burrow all the way up into the main. This is a very cool play coming out. Pylons coming down. It does look like he's going to put a photon cannon down in there, but he's just going to show a little bit of aggression to pull away the army. and then unburrow up in the main. This is such cool play from Vortix. Really, really like this. And sniping off this photon cannon would be the best thing that he could possibly do, as then there will be no detection here, getting a ton of worker kills. In fact, 24, and now he's going to even snipe off the cannon, and now can burrow, and Adelscott is in a tough position. GG's. And wow, Vortix coming back and taking that game. That was a crazy freaking ZVP. Very, very cool action coming out from these two players. If you did like, feel free to subscribe. Leave any cool comments at any of the links on the left-hand side of your screen. Would really appreciate some feedback. Let a new caster know exactly if they're doing terrible, if they're doing well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for some more Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm action.